So you've got some more amazing stories about Jesus for me today? Yes, sir, I do. Well, filler anyway. Filler? I thought we were entering the exciting final stretch of this thing. We are, for sure. Slowly tiptoeing. Oh, entering the final stretch slowly tiptoeing is tight. Sure glad you think so, sir, because this is all going to go much more smoothly if you simply accept what I say without any skepticism. Why is that? Well, we've got Jesus giving some pretty questionable advice. So if you could become as gullible and trusting as a little child, we'd be much obliged. What kind of questionable advice? Well, for example, at one point a tax collector visits Jesus and Peter, and he's there to exact a 2 drachma temple tax from both of them. 2 drachmas each? Yes? Isn't a drachma basically a full day's wage in these ancient barbaric times? I hate it when you do that, sir, but yes. Jesus and his apostles live hand to mouth. Isn't it going to be hard for them to come up with that kind of money? Actually, it's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yep. Jesus just tells Peter to go fishing. And Jesus says when Peter catches his first fish, he'll find a 4 drachma coin in its mouth. Wait, what? And he can pay their temple tax with that. You're telling me that Peter is supposed to catch a fish, and there will be a coin in that fish's mouth valued at the exact amount they owe. That's what we're going with. Does this magical money fish plan actually work? Oh, that is completely unaddressed. What do you mean it's unaddressed? There's no follow-up scene whatsoever. You wrote this bizarre scenario where coins are supposed to be found in a fish's mouth and there's no payoff. Nah. Well, you could write one, couldn't you? Yeah, I guess I could do that. It'd be nice to give this outlandish story a miraculous and satisfying conclusion. You could even play it like something out of a David Blaine special. David who? Never mind. Write something. A coin from a fish's mouth? You can't leave that story just hanging there incomplete. Yeah, fine. I'll add something in later. Don't forget. I won't. So anyway, after Jesus provides that extremely sensible and realistic tax payment solution, we see him moving on to giving relationship advice. Divinely inspired counseling. Interesting. Oh, it will be, as he addresses how difficult marriage can be. Oh yeah, marriage is hard. Sure is, but divorce is, of course, out of the question except in situations where there's been sexual immorality. You've mentioned that before. Was there something else you wanted to add? Well, since marriage is so hard, we thought we'd have Jesus suggesting that being a eunuch may be the way to go. Being a eunuch? Oh yes, that's bound to be a popular lifestyle alternative. I know, right? Interesting. Jesus acknowledging that traditional marriage isn't for everyone. Yep. I mean, when it comes to eunuchs, if you're born that way, what are you gonna do? Am I right? Makes sense and very inclusive. Thank you. Hey, while you're on the subject of inclusivity and people being born a certain way, are you going to have Jesus address same-sex relationships? No. That sounds like a plan to me. Yeah. Well, however difficult marriage is in our mortal lives, at least in heaven it'll be perfect bliss, right? Yeah. What does that noise mean? At the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven. Are you telling me that we aren't going to be stuck with our earthly spouses for all of eternity? That seems to be what we're implying here. Yes! God is so good. Always. So next we have Jesus relaying another one of his awesome parables. Oh God, these are always gold. The kingdom of heaven is like the owner of a vineyard who goes out early in the morning to hire men to work his fields. Okay. And the wage the owner is willing to pay is 1 denarius for the day's labor. A denarius? Didn't you just say a drachma is a typical day's wage? I did. But now you're using the word denarius. Correct. Why? I don't know. Well, okay then. Now, a few hours after the landowner hired his initial group of workers, he goes out again to hire more men. All right. And then he hires some more men around noon. Okay. And then he hires more at 3, and then a few more at 5. Get on with it. And at the end of the workday, each worker receives 1 denarius, regardless of when he started. So the kingdom of heaven is like a man with absolutely no concept of how an hourly wage is supposed to work. What? No, they all agree to work for 1 denarius. Are the guys who worked all day happy that they got no more money than the guys who only worked for an hour or so? Well, no, they're pretty pissed about it, actually. Then this is no surprise to you. I guess not. Do you see how such an incredibly short-sighted policy like this could lead to negative consequences? Look, it really doesn't matter. For example, what do you want to bet that the next time that the landowner goes out to hire some laborers, that he can find no one willing to work until it's just before sundown? I Didn't think of that. Not to mention the ill will this will engender between these workers. Look, I get your point. Maybe the guys who worked all day could fish for some extra drachmas. Hey, shut up. So anyway, I'm going to need you to get all the way off my back about this inane parable. Fine. To be honest, none of this stuff matters anyway, because money is of no use in heaven. Oh, it's not? No. Well, it sure comes in handy down here, bub. That it does. But since the end times are going to be here any minute, what's the point? The end times? What are you talking about? Truly, I tell you, some who are standing here will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. What exactly does that mean? Wars, earthquakes, the very end of Earth and even heaven itself. Wait a second, you're talking about a universe-wide apocalypse? Pretty damn dramatic, huh? But you can't have heaven disappear. What would be the point of that? Well, we thought it would be an epic twist. The whole point of this thing is heaven being the ultimate goal, the reward this is all building up to. It's where we're all supposed to spend eternity, remember? Worshipping God endlessly. Oh, right. So keep your wars and earthquakes, but cut that bit about heaven out. You're right, I'll do it tomorrow. Don't forget. I won't. So anyway, it's going to be a total shit show when Jesus makes his glorious and spectacular return. That seems counterintuitive to have Jesus' return inextricably linked to worldwide calamity. You don't like it? Seems like positive things happening would be a better advertisement for Jesus' return. Huh. Think about it. Do we really want to put our followers in the position of needing the world to be in flames before they can expect the return of their Messiah? Yes. Oh, all right.